And we are live here at CPAC 2024.
Looks like you got some really good location here at CPAC this year.
Not bad, right? Not bad. So we, actually it's funny because I'm a local Washingtonian here. And you end up knowing everybody.
That's right.
Your kids go to school with the people. They play soccer with the different people.
So if you know somebody, you can get a backdrop like this at CPAC, is what you're saying? Right?
You like that? Yeah. You like that? So I have with me here Tommy, and guys, this is a special show, especially for CPAC. We had been really kind of tracking this show for a little while, and as you know, obviously we are quite busy as they go. But we're going to do a few interviews, and obviously if you guys have any questions, what I want you to do is go on to X or go on to YouTube, and we'll be able to see the questions right there. Let me just share this so people know that we're online here. Okay, so
while you're waiting on viewers to maybe populate, you can go into a little background of who I am, or how you want me to start?
Well, we're going to lead in right now. So, first of all, thanks for joining on your TVs in Texas and Louisiana. We really appreciate you guys. Let me just make sure we have good audio here, and we do. All right, I have with me here Tommy Tatum. He is with the J6 people, right? Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about, and we're going to bring multiple interviews as we go throughout the day here. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing and what brought you here to CPAC.
Okay, so what we're doing today, real quick, I'm here with J6 Legal and sponsor J6, and what we're doing is asking people if they'd like to sponsor a J6er, like a monthly recurring donation, and that would help with things like commissary and whatever they may need. And, the family may need some help at home, whatever. I don't know the exact particulars, but we're asking to help sponsor J6ers. Like we have a J6er right here walking by, right? Her name is Trisha. And so that's what we're here doing at CPAC today. Now, what led me to that is a really, really long story. But I got into the whole movement because I was at January 6th, and lots of stuff happened. But the main thing for me, what motivates me, is a relative in Bowling was murdered beside me on the steps of the Capitol on January 6th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So as the result of that, once I realized Jake Lang, who's the founder of the organization I'm working with and several other entities, he actually helps pull me from the bottom of the pile, tries to pull me from the bottom of the pile up. So let me frame it for your viewers, is when the cops pushed everybody out of the tunnel, Roseanne falls into me. We all fall down at the same time, and people fall over my leg. And my leg was trapped on one side of a handrail where the president comes down to do the inaugurations, and the rest of me was on the other side, and people fell on top of my leg, so my leg was trapped.
Oh, wow.
And at one point, Jake comes up and he tries to pull me out of the bottom of the pile, and I say, no, my leg is trapped. He'll break my leg, but go save those people because they're dying, and they were. So once I realized it was Jake, I kind of got in touch with some people who knew him and got involved in the community as a whole. Since then, I had moved to D.C. I lived with Ashley Babbitt's mother here for a year, doing the vigil outside the jail here in D.C., going to the trials, going to the media hearings. Mm-hmm. And that leads us to where I'm at now, is I do a lot of the research into the videos. I find the police brutality, the murders, and the feds, let's just be honest.
Yeah, of course. No.
And all that. And I help with that. I give it to clients. I have testified in trials before, and that's what I do.
Well, it's absolutely crazy, and I think a lot of people don't realize that how many millions of people were here that day and that weekend. There was a lot of us. There was a lot of us here, and it is absolutely horrible that these 160 plus people have been persecuted. Really?
Yeah. So I bet it's about 160, maybe 200, maybe even a little more that maybe gone through the process in jail or some form of probation or whatever.
Okay.
There's actually 1,300 people are in the legal process now.
Unbelievable.
And a lot of people don't know this, but there's I know this to be a fact, is there's in the FBI database, there's a program called Baseball, and Baseball shoots out cards, and there's 3,200 cards in the system of 3,200 persons of interest that were at the Capitol that day. I only say 1,400 people have been arrested, so that means they got 2,000 more to go. And the reason I know this is I'm on one of the cards.
Wow.
Yes.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
So 2,000 more to go. Again, there are millions of people, but it is just ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Now, going into the Capitol, I think obviously that was a fatal mistake for a lot of the people.
Mm-hmm.
It
was quite literally fatal for Ashley Babbitt.
It was quite literally fatal. So Ashley Babbitt used to follow me on Twitter,
Really? That's
on X.
interesting.
Yeah. So absolutely crazy. So you have this legal fund. Is that what it is, or legal?
Yeah. So just to clarify, the type of work I personally do, I focus on the research. It's kind of hard to describe.
Okay.
But the group that I'm working with absolutely does those sorts of things, and it helps. What it boils down to is we help find lawyers. They will help find lawyers for these defendants who have nothing at reasonable rates, because you in DC know a lawyer is $50 to $100, $200, $300,000 easy. And a lot of these people have absolutely nothing. And other than that, really, advice. We all help each other as a community anyway. That's kind of how it all started. It's how I tell everybody.
And so, what are you finding? I mean, all right. So they're coming in. I mean, is there any recourse? Like, are people winning any of the cases, or is everything just?
So there have been 2 defendants that got acquitted. One was on a bench trial, and the judge says, I think the lawyer made a technical mistake.
Okay.
And the judge said they didn't present the case. So anyway, long story short, there's been 2 people get off, and the rest of them are all convictions. There's no fair. These aren't really trials.
No.
These are malice struggle sessions.
These are the Salem witch.
In person.
It's like ridiculous.
And I tell our Americans that they really want to wake an American up. Don't let them sit in one of these January 6 trials one day, and their faith in the American judicial system will forever be shaken.
Yeah. Well, we see what's going on with Trump as well. I mean, it's just 354 million or 360 million. You know, there's no plaintiff. There's no people that got no victim. Yeah, no crime, no victim. Absolutely ridiculous. So how do you feel CPAC is? I mean, is it good for you? How do you feel about it this year?
CPAC is good for us. I was here last year. I was escorting Ashley's mom last year and a few other people. It's good for us, to be honest with you, a couple ways, but really it's connecting with the average people, like walking around, but also some of the media people. It gives us another venue to maybe get a message out, and I believe in get your message out there as often as many places as you can, right?
Unbelievable. So these 2,000 people, do they know who they are?
No. So the reason I know that is I know a lot of people in this movement, a lot of the defendants.
Yep.
And so remember when the Congress said we're going to allow people to come look at the footage of Capitol Hill?
Yep.
One of my friends is one of the defendants. He actually went through the system and he told me, hey, I saw you on one of the cars. So that's how I know that. Most people have no idea that even exists. But it harkens back to the days of the Iraq War. Remember when they had the cards with the Saddam Hussein, Uday Hussein on them?
Yeah.
So that kind of is similar to what they've done in general with this whole war, is take a step back from it.
Yeah.
So when we were leading up into the unconstitutional Patriot Act, all that stuff led through all this techniques and stuff, psychological operations for warfare in these Muslim nations around the world.
Yep.
Now the military, the people, have turned that on us.
Yes.
And that's what's happening.
Absolutely. And people are starting to figure it out. And I'll tell you what, you talk about it all the time. I'm lucky because I left early, but the FBI, guys, was started in 1908. The first big job that they had was putting down opposition to World War I. Okay, so that was their first big job, putting down opposition to World War I. Of course, then we had the Federal Reserve start along with the IRS in 1913, and we went to World War I in 1914. And we've been getting ripped off.
I mean, I kind of understand the idea of maybe back in those days, we needed some kind of federal apparatus so California can talk to Mississippi as some criminals headed there, right? But now we got the internet. I think we do away with the FBI.
You got to do it. You have to do away with the FBI.
Up on the phone and say, listen, this criminal's headed to you guys. There's a picture of him. Go get him.
You have to do it.
It's completely a national federal police forces.
Yeah. Well, especially
of Americanism.
And they're politically targeting people. It's not even like they're.
I hear they got some really raunchy sexual habits on the 7th floor at the FBI.
Well, I'm sure they do. I mean, these guys are like.
And everybody probably under that floor is afraid to say the truth. But you know what? FBI agents are afraid to say the truth. You swore an oath to God, and you're going to be held accountable to that one day.
And let me say, there's a lot of good people in the FBI and the CIA. A lot of them have left.
We just need them to be more proactive in proving.
Yeah, we need you to be more proactive in helping us save ourselves, save the country. So how do people get involved? How do people help you? I know you got other places to go.
So really, I'm a personal. I work with a lot of groups, but I'm just a personal entity. I have nothing to sell you. Everything I do is for free. If you want to see the work I do, the best place to do it is that I'm on Twitter at a handle called @JackSmart007.
@JackSmart007.
Capital J and S. And also Tommy Tatum News @gmail.
Tommy Tatum News.
News at Gmail.
Right,
so
awesome.
if you need any, if you're happen to be a defendant or somebody who was there that day and has footage, you can send it to me and it'll be okay. I promise. The feds don't want to arrest me.
Well, it is pretty interesting that a lot of people deleted their footage that they had, right? Because the word went out. Oh my gosh, they're tracking everybody down, and people deleted everything.
I still get new footage all the time. People are starting to feel a little more comfortable. It was the most recorded event in human history.
Right?
So there's some more footage out there, but everybody's afraid. So
Everyone's scared.
I get drips and drops.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy, man. So,
I mean, just so people know, not to sound conspiratorial, I can prove this. I have footage of operatives. So look, one little thing. So everybody here, Clay Higgins talks about the 200 people inside the Capitol already.
Yep.
You want to hear my theory last night? If you got a minute, okay? So Ray Epps, what do you think about Ray Epps?
Oh, of course, he's an asset, 100%.
He's an asset.
Yeah.
But in the footage after the line falls, at first, until the line falls at 2:30, you know what Ray Epps is on? You know what he's doing all day? Telling people to calm down and back up.
Calm down and back up.
He's controlling. He's. I'm not saying he's not an op.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think January 6th meant to unfold the way it did. The entirety of the West Plaza, I don't think they meant for that to happen. The cops overreacted and literally started a riot. I think what they meant to have happened was everybody slow. They removed the police with the fake pipe bombs, right? Moved the police away. People overrun those first little barriers with 5 cops to hold back 1 million people. Slowly,
which it was 1 million people. That's what people don't understand. Right? It was 1 million people, at least.
I think the plan was for them, let everybody slowly get up to around the Capitol. The agitators in the crowd would have opened the doors and got in. Because the reason I say that, I have footage of when the doors are open.
Yep.
2, I believe to be agents, come in. There's a gun magazine on the ground. Another person drops a gun. One of them picks it up and points it at a cop.
Wow.
They freak out, and then what do? They leave as the Trump supporters go in.
And we are going to commercial here on Smart Money Culture TV. Thanks for watching us. We will be back on the other side of that commercial with more coverage, which we continue our live stream. We're live on X and everything else.
So I really came to this epiphany last night because I've been struggling. I'm just being honest, talking honestly.
Sure.
In the footage you watch it, I've been trying to figure out for a year, what is he doing? Like what is he waiting for? Was my question. I think when he got there, he didn't expect the violence on the plaza to have happened, and I think they don't know what to do at first. And then at 2:30, the cops fire a 40 millimeter CS gas canister at the scaffolding. It bounces back at the cops and gasses the entire police line out, and that's when the line falls. So the January 6th committee says at 2:24, at the same exact moment, this cop's firing this 40 millimeter CS gas canister. January 6th committee says Donald Trump tweeted out this thing that says something about whatever. I forget what the tweet is. It's a famous tweet.
Right.
And they say, and the crowd outside surged in response to it. Like, no, the crowd outside responded to the fact that you gassed the entire police line out, causing it to fall.
Amazing.
But see what I'm saying? So the cops started the riot. Their malfeasance caused the line, and then they say Donald Trump's tweet caused that to happen.
Yeah, crazy. Brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Send me a message as well.
Yeah.
And if you follow the links on my card, you'll see we have the. Yeah.
I got you.
You'll be able to get the thing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, there you have it, guys. We're going to continue our coverage here at CPAC. I normally have a couple of trusted side people to help me out with this, but I'm solo right now. Solo at CPAC. But I do have some people on the way. I guess it was a big night last night. You had El Bakari, or however I pronounce his name. I know I'm saying it wrong. The El Salvadorian president, and they were all out and really doing the deal. So pretty interesting. I think what is going on here at CPAC. CPAC has historically been this very important conference, this Christian Coalition conference that really sets the tone and the standard for the rest of the year. And we just heard from him, with his story of January 6th. He says 2,000 more people have these cards that they plan to arrest. So that's absolutely horrible news for those people. But you can get help from him. Follow his links that he mentioned, and he'll help you out if you end up being one of those people. I don't know if they all entered into the Capitol or what the deal was, but anyway. As we're waiting here, I do expect to have a couple more people that are coming by. Let's talk about the markets like we always do. Okay, we're having a bit of a pullback on our on the markets. We have the mighty Bitcoin is currently trading at 51,055. It's down about 1% on the day. We do expect that. That is something that we have expected, is a bit of a pullback on that with a big nice run up. And as well, we have the 4 phases of the Bitcoin halving, and I do feel like we are in going into the next phase. First to go up is the speculators come in. Now the speculators are going to want to take some profit and go from there. Hey, how you doing? We're good right now. Okay. And so I think that's to be expected. Now there's so much money that's entering into the space right now with the ETFs and everything else that it is hard to say that is going to be the only bit. It could still go up. There could still be further upside. The Dow Jones Industrial is up about 155 points on the day. The NASDAQ is up about nothing. The NASDAQ is pretty flat. The NASDAQ is flat, so that's interesting. Gold, as you know, gold is one of the things that we really track a lot. Gold is up, trading at $2,047, up almost 1% on the day. Silver futures. Silver is also up a bit, over 0.5%, trading at 23.16. So as we talk about, guys, you know, and I gave a little bit of history there a little bit earlier about when the FBI started, when the Federal Reserve started, and of course then when the IRS started, right? We had the Federal Reserve, and then and so that was 1913. The FBI started in 1908. Okay. And then, of course, we have 1913. We have the Federal Reserve, which is a private bank. Okay, it's a private central bank. These central banks around the country are private, around the world, I should say. And they are bypassing our governments. They're the ones who control the purse strings. And as you know, if you control the purse strings, then you are in control. And when you look at Biden and how Biden is able to forgive, it looks like he's going to forgive $136 billion in student loans. And people say, well, how is he able to do that? The Supreme Court said no. Everybody said no, you can't do it. And he still looks like he's able to do it. And that's one of the reasons why he's able to do it, because he doesn't need Congress or to approve the money. And Congress wouldn't approve the money if the Supreme Court said no, because of course we have the 3 branches of government: Congress, the legislative, which is Congress, we have the executive, which is the White House, and we have the judicial, which is the Supreme Court. And so they wouldn't overstep that bounds. But that's why it looks like he'll be able to do it. And hey, I don't begrudge anybody if you're one of those people that is not going to have to pay their bills. I get it, but you know, it's $136 billion. I can tell you that will cost every American household over $1,000, okay, in order to pay that off. Should my family be in a position of paying off your bills for you to go to college? No, I don't think so. I actually feel pretty strongly about that. I have a family just like everybody else. We have private schools. We have everything else that we have to do. We're doing a lot of stuff. Speaking of that, we are doing our Annie play as well. We have another performance tonight. That's going to be pretty fun, and that's here in Old Town. So a lot of people here for CPAC. They're starting to come in. I think it was a bit of a late night for everybody last night. So they are kind of trickling in as we go. We are live again on the Smart Money Culture TV. That's in Texas and Louisiana, live every day, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. Okay, so we're Eastern Standard right now at the National Harbor, which is actually in Maryland. It's right across the bridge, actually, from where I live, and very nice at the Gaylord. So nice spot. Everybody's here. You know, Trump is, I believe, also slated to speak. I talked to earlier. I think they might stop by. We have Vic Swami's fund, so that could be pretty interesting. As well as, of course, you have all the regulars like Judicial Watch and these other people who are here. Just figures of this conservative movement, and CPAC has been just really at the forefront of that for as long as we've seen. Of course, Matt Schlapp, the man behind this whole movement here, his wonderful wife Mercedes, of course. Mercedes and Matt Schlapp, really icons in the area here in the Washington, D.C. area, and indeed across the United States. And they throw this event every year, and the last 2 years has been here at the National Harbor, and the Gaylord is a really nice spot for it. So we're going to continue our live coverage as we go. We are live as well on Crypto Cake on YouTube and on X on my networks manager as well. This is the Porter Brothers Show. So we have one of the interesting things, you know, there's a lot of stuff here, different products and everything else, but really a lot that has to do with January 6th. Just such a 2021, such an iconic moment in the history of our country. The people have been demonized. People are in jail. You know, they called it an insurrection. Okay, they called it an insurrection. Millions of people showed up peacefully protesting. Nobody brought any. There were like no weapons that were brought there. People were peacefully protesting. Of course, it sounded like from what our friend said right there, maybe things got out of line. Come on in. How are you, sir? Have a seat. We're right on our live stream here. I have with me here, this is D. Victor. How do I say that?
Oldroyd.
Oldroyd.
Mm-hmm.
And he had an interesting product, nice booth right over here.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting product it looked like. So tell me a little bit about that product and what brought you here to CPAC.
Okay, Revere Payments is a big supporter of CPAC. We have been a part of them for years. When anybody comes to register, come attend, we are the merchant processing partner for CPAC. So the credit cards securely go through our platform, even though CPAC's the merchant. We have been doing merchant processing, helping people with their goods and services for years. We are all about a Christian-based, freedom-supporting alternative to the Stripe, Square, PayPal, liberal nonsense that's out there. So people don't have to be worried about getting shut down because they have the name Liberty in their title, or maybe they put an American flag on their website. We are
God
here.
Forbid they donate to somebody. They're not
exactly
right.
Yeah. In fact, our owner has decided that we even board churches with no cost. So any nonprofits, churches, 501c3s, we put them on board. We don't charge them. We just want to help people out. And yeah.
So speaking of that, and it's Revere. Revere is the
Revere Payments.
Revere Payments. What's the website?
ReverePayments.com.
ReverePayments.com. So now you mentioned Stripe. Did you hear that Libs of TikTok, they were holding his funds?
Oh, I could write a book on
Really?
all the different people that get shut down. It's insane. It is really becoming disturbing. It's a problem.
Well, this is what I talk about. People say, oh, they're worried about the CBDCs, and I understand you're worried about the CBDCs, but our money's already digital. 90% of the U.S. dollars are digital. If they want to shut you down, it's very easy. So how do you get by that? I mean, do you have people, breathing down on you? I mean, how do you?
No. Again, we are just helping people take either ACH transfers, bank to bank, or MasterCard, Visa, Discover, Amex. If it's branded, we help them take it.
Nice.
Though the card brands don't have a say, we are partnered with those card brands, but our banks love anything related to freedom, Christianity. Could be the guns and ammo industry that we're good in. It can be, churches, nonprofits. So that's kind of the world we live in. If you're running for mayor of your little town, we can help you bring in donations, and you don't have to be worried about being shut down.
Very cool. So we have a big focus with finance. I have a long history in crypto.
Yep.
Do you guys do those types of payments for people that want to buy NFTs? Maybe you talk about like Trump did his NFT, stuff like that.
Yeah, that crypto world is coming. We actually have some code released in 6 weeks that will allow them to kind of exchange with crypto. Yeah, so it is coming. We just are not wanting it to be tied to a central bank kind of thing where all the government gets to, poke their fingers into it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so those options are absolutely coming.
Well, the central bank is a big problem.
It is.
It's a really big problem. We were just interviewing some of the other guys as well. The central bank started in I talk about it every day. Central bank started in 1930. FBI started in 1908. Central bank started in 1913, along with the FBI in the same year. And then the next year we go to war. We go to World War I. We lose 40 million people. 40 million people die.
Yeah, that's the last thing we need to do is have the government tell us or monitor our money.
Yeah.
Because then I only get to buy one car, I've already burned up my allotment on gas. And I mean, that's the last thing we need is the government to tell me what I can and can't do with my money.
My dream is that Trump gets in and he pulls an Elon Musk and he fires everybody.
Yeah, we're with you.
And we have like 95%, is gone. And that's really what we need. I don't know if it would ever happen.
Yeah.
So how long have you been working with CPAC?
We've been with CPAC probably 5 years, 4 or 5 years. Yeah, I've been with Revere Payments 2.5. I've been in the merchant processing industry 25.
Yep.
So yeah, I love this because it really is satisfactory to help companies, whether they're a church, whether it's somebody who sells ammo, to stay in business and not be worried about being shut down.
Interesting. I had a friend who got shut down. He was in the ammo business as well. So did you get to see the El Salvadorian president? I'm sure you had your booth. But did you get to see him?
I haven't seen much of anything today. I'm just in there. But
nice booth, though. Make sure to check them out if you come by here
Revere
at CPAC. Revere Payments, reverepayments.com. Thanks so much for coming on.
You got it. Good to talk to you.
Yes, sir. And you can contact me. We're live on my X account, but you can find everything through the card.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Big Randy, get over here, man. Put this thing on. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. We're live here at CPAC. We got big Randy in the house. He's better known as Lead Pro sometimes. He was that Bitcoin thing that he's got right there that made the news last night.
It made the news?
You were holding it up. He's got his camera in one hand. He's holding the Bitcoin up in the other hand.
And AP picked it up, right? Everybody picked it up, yes.
Associated Press picked it up. And there he was. Bruce, where are you, man? Of course, then he stays out till 4 a.m. And he shows up at CPAC at 12:30 the next day.
Rock and roll, man. That's how you do it.
And he's sober. He's been sober ever since I've known him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Too much information.
So, it's your second or third year at CPAC?
Yes,
you're
second.
You're a big supporter, right?
Yes.
You think it's an important conference. So tell me a little bit about what you see happening this time around that is so important.
Bitcoin. Bitcoin is actually making its way into everything here. And, we're walking around with the giant logo. Everybody's Bitcoin. People are running up. How do I do this? Could you teach me? We need help. What is this? How can we do this? Everybody's very engaged about it. Everybody wants to know. I think Trump is pushing gold and silver, and everyone's pushing gold and silver, but they're also Bitcoin.
Well, you got to have both. It's like it's like I tell everybody. I would be, and we're not financial advisors, but I would be, I wouldn't want to tell everybody to just not have any gold or silver and just have Bitcoin, because the thing is that we don't know. We highly believe, and so does a lot of other people, that's why it's so expensive, that this is an asset that's going to be around a long time and that it's going to become very, very valuable. But to not have any gold or silver is not smart. You want to have gold, you want to have silver, you want to have some cash, you want to have crypto, and you need property as well. There's one thing that I will say though, 100%, and that is that your paper dollars will go to zero.
Always.
100%. One day, they're going to look back. They're going to dig these things up, or they're going to find an old box of them somewhere. Your grandma's going to have
Really crumbling.
Yeah, $10,000 or $100,000 sitting somewhere, and it's going to be absolutely worthless. You're not even going to.
The grubs will eat it. They'll be gone.
You're not going to be able to trade it in for anything.
The thing about Bitcoin is, if something happens and you have to go somewhere, You can't. You can only carry so much gold. You put your jewelry on. You have your pockets full, but there's a limit to it. With Bitcoin, you can have $1 million. You can have a couple $1 million. You can have a couple $100,000 right on your phone. You leave the country.
Or
you go to
right
another
here.
country.
Or
Yeah,
right
yes, you
in
can
your
keep
head.
it in a brain wallet.
Yes.
So with the brain wallet, if you remember your code words or whatever your phrase is, with the proper software, you can retrieve your Bitcoin. So they can put you in a torture chair. They can waterboard you, and you'll still have your Bitcoin.
As long as you don't break. Just don't break.
Just don't break.
Yeah. Yeah. Just tell them I have amnesia. I never had any anyway. I lost him in a boating accident.
Like Johnny Mnemonic had it in his head. They showed you years ago. The guy from The Matrix, Johnny Mnemonic, the
Yep.
same. Yeah.
Pretty interesting. So, so you're doing a lot of stuff up in New York as well. I know this has a budding community up there.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, New York is on fire right now. They mostly Web3, and they're mostly pushing coins that can be seized or stopped. I don't know. I mean, they're more to the art. It's all about the art. You know, I guess
It's advertising. So we talked about it. So if you have a blockchain and you get the artist to do stuff on the blockchain and then you buy their art, it's like you're paying them to advertise in a way. They go around, they say, "Oh my gosh, hey look, I sold this art piece for this much money, and let me make another one," and then tell everyone I did it, and now I did it on this chain, and so it's a good marketing.
But,
It's good.
The thing
But
about
these chains are totally these things are
seizable.
worse. These things are worse than the central
Avalanche
bank.
just stalled today. Avalanche
course.
just broke.
Wow, again?
Yes. And that's
I like
big
that.
MIT money. That's big Epstein funds right there, Avalanche.
Wow.
Actually, Edgar Henderson, the guy that's was going after Craig, that they roofied Craig Wright.
You roofied him.
Apparently they roofied him, yeah. They roofied him some point. He used to work for Avalanche.
Okay.
And so was that other group that was tied in with some Epstein judges. It's very convoluted. It's a very convoluted thing.
It's convoluted. It's very convoluted. Well, then you have Solana. Solana, of course, froze again. I'm
Did
sure
it again today?
No.
Yesterday?
Just the other day. I'm still talking about it.
Horrible.
Well, because there's probably nefarious stuff going on. I
They
mean, I
stop
don't
it,
know.
they dump it, they change
They
something.
stop it. They change it up. You do all that stuff. So you got to be careful, and that's why when we talk about that stuff, guys, real blockchains. You have Bitcoin, you have Litecoin, you have Global Boost, you have Digibyte. These are coins, these old chains that nothing changed on them. They can't be seized, they can't be frozen, they can't be seized by court order, they can't be stopped. And so that's important stuff, especially as we're going into times like this. So we just had the credit card processing guy on as well. Pretty interesting. I know one of our friends got his business shut down, the ammo business. He couldn't process
Of
cars.
course.
But that guy,
They shut you down. Like
They shut you
that's their weapon. Nigel Farage, he was here the other day speaking. They shut him down.
Yep.
They don't like you. They don't like
What do you mean they shut him down?
Farage, the Prime Minister of London.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
here and they shut him down. What do you mean?
No, they shut him down his credit cards.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you didn't hear that?
Oh,
They
you
shut
mean
down
like years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They deplatformed them, shut them down.
Yeah, that's what they do. They deplatform it. They deplatform it.
So the thing is, decentralized media is very important, which is another project we're working on with Noster. Edward Snowden.
Global Boost, Noster, this mix right here. I should put my public key, but I say too much stuff on my X account. But yeah, pretty cool stuff, man. Well, awesome. You think can you maybe grab a couple of cool people?
I think Bozy was trying to get his media pass. He's got a. We're doing some flaring, oil well flaring, for Bitcoin mining.
Okay.
It's a very interesting
Cool.
project.
All right. Do you think you could maybe pull in some of the?
Go USA. I'll go. It's one aisle over.
Don't
I'll see what I
forget
can do.
this.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. Big Randy in the house.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're the man. All right, so we have about of course we're live here. We are live at CPAC. Pretty interesting, really, conference. There's really no conference like this in the world that I know about. You have, it sets the standard. And they have, these days, if you are outspoken and if you are over the target, as they say, then you will be targeted. They'll deplatform you. You just heard Randy talking about how Nigel Farage, they cut off all his credit cards and stuff, and that is a real issue, and that's why it is so important that we have different avenues, and it's so important that we as well are meeting, and we're meeting with each other. Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Bruce Porter.
Hi, Bruce. John.
He's the chief tech guy for Go USA.
Perfect. All right, have a seat here. I have with me here Jonathan. How do I say your last name?
Linos.
Jonathan Linos, and we are. Yep. Okay. Jonathan Linos, and you're with Go USA.
Yeah.
You're the tech guy. I never would have guessed.
Yeah.
So now, tell me a little bit about Go USA and what brought you here to CPAC.
Okay, so Go USA, we have this political rating system called the Opportunity Score, or OP Score, that we rated all the politicians in the House and Senate. And what we're doing at CPAC this year is we're introducing what we're calling the OP Score Challenge. It's like a Pepsi challenge.
Okay.
So we actually did we hired a polling company that we did a test in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And we had they targeted they polled we got responses from hundreds of registered Democrats and left-leaning independents, and they went in and filled out this survey with 25 detailed questions, and they get their opportunity score. It goes from -5 to +5, how strongly pro-opportunity you are, or if it goes negative, you're actually not just working for the people, you're working against the people, okay? So they get their number, and then we show them a blind graphic of their 8 representatives, the Senate and the House, but the faces and the names and parties are blocked out, just the number.
Okay.
And we say, who do you align with? And 40%, and then we do 40% of them ended up picking Republicans, saying that's who they agreed with. Then we do the reveal and showed who they picked.
Oh, nice.
30% of them said, oh, no, I would never vote for a Republican. They then switched back and said, I'll vote. But 10% said, yeah, I'll use the OP score to help me decide who to vote for. And so we've got the data now. We're trying to raise money to roll this out nationally and helps, important elections.
So Go USA, we have had some talks with Go USA, full disclosure. We just absolutely support what you're doing. I'm glad that you guys were able to do that in Wisconsin. Very interesting. What were some of the, can you share some of the questions?
And we actually you can go online to opscore.org or Go USA website.
Go USA.
You can actually take the survey yourself.
GoUSA.com, right?
Yeah. It's go-usa.us.
Okay.
But the easier one is opscore, OPPSCORE.org. So either
opscore.org. Yeah, that is easier.
And so the questions are divided into 5 categories of personal opportunity, economic, social, national, and educational. And each one of those has 5 questions. So under personal, it would be like First Amendment, Second Amendment. So are you in favor of free speech? But it's like, or is it okay to suppress speech that offends people? And there are people who say, yeah, it's okay to suppress speech, but that would give them a thumbs down. So, but it's either I agree or I disagree. So it's very easy to answer the questions. But when you roll it all together, you get a number that actually gives you a pretty good metric of where they stand.
Cool. And is this your first time at CPAC?
No. This is my 3rd CPAC.
3rd CPAC.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody loves CPAC. It's quite popular, and I feel like it's gone through the ringer, and still it's a very important conference. You see the names. I couldn't believe all the names they're speaking.
So the other thing is I'm a software developer. I'm also a game developer.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've played my pinball machine.
I haven't played a pinball machine.
So I brought a J6 Insurrection pinball machine to the show. It's at the Go USA booth.
Nice.
And basically I don't think it was an insurrection, but I used that word there, and it's definitely triggered some people. We've gotten over 600,000 hits on Twitter it went viral. The Hill picked it up yesterday, and
Nice.
And so you
The
should come.
pinball
The
game?
pinball game, yeah.
Yeah, well, shoot. I'll have to come check it out. That's
So
cool.
The idea with the pinball, can I talk about pinball?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, people who are new to pinball, they think it's like, hit the ball and don't lose the ball, right? But as you start developing skills, there's certain targets, there's strategies, there's things you try to do. And then different games can have different game modes, and it can even have a narrative. So a pinball game is actually a game that you play through like any other game. So in this game, the modes are Stop the Steal, It's a Setup, Babbitt Murder, Political Prisoners. There's like 10 different modes, and when you go into that mode, it plays videos from J6, so you can actually see really what happened there. And the idea here is to try to shift the cultural narrative from the left a little bit more center to the right, and expose people to what really happened, as opposed to what they're spoon fed from the media and the government.
Well, it has been something else, and it's a big topic. It's a big topic here. I was just talking about it actually before you came on. It left such a mark in everybody. I mean, whether I can remember that night and watching how everything went down, and it was like and they're using subliminal messages in TV. They are. They've been using subliminal messages for 60 years. Of course, they're using subliminal messages in our TV. And it was like, it just like switched, and it was like everything was horrible, and how could this happen? And this was just bad.
It was contrived. It was designed.
Bad.
I personally believe that this was planned months, if not over a year in advance, and Nancy Pelosi and company, and the idea was to invoke the word insurrection so they could use that in the Constitution so that they could keep Trump off the ballot in this election year. Yeah. And that so all of these trials and arrests and just the whole narrative of domestic terrorism and all that crap is designed to go after Trump in the way they did for the 4 years while he was in office.
There's one thing that I've learned over my years is that words, you can they cast spells with words. And insurrection was one of those words that they did. They just but
it also has a legal meaning.
Of course. Yeah. It has a legal meaning, and then they were insurrectionists, and then it was, deadly insurrection. It was all this, it was absolutely
and I mean, even now we're getting press coming to the booth and telling us, well, 5 police officers were killed at the rally. Like, no police officers were killed.
No, it didn't happen.
This is press. This isn't just like gamers that like pinball,
Yeah. Well, that is really interesting. And so, do you have to be in? Can you play it on the computer, or you have to be in?
Yeah, it's a free game. You can download it off the internet.
Where is that?
Where can you get it from?
Yeah.
Well, so I had posted it on. There's a huge community of people that play virtual pinball, and there's websites that host the games that people have created. And I had posted it up there last year, and they took it down very quickly. They said, keep politics out of pinball. It's just for fun. I kind of get it, but it did get a lot of hate also. So right now, you can just go to my website. It's freedomdog.com.
Freedom Dog.
DAWG.
Freedom Dog. DAWG. Freedomdog.com.
Yeah.
I'm going to check it out.
Okay. Yeah. So it takes a little bit of technical acumen to actually install. It's not just plug and play. I mean, because it runs on top of this visual pinball software. But if you're you can try it, or just come on over to the booth and try it. So I built a physical. You can play it on your desktop, but I built a physical pinball machine that is transportable, so I can bring it to events like this.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Go USA, or actually
OpScore with 2 P's.
OpScore with 2 P's, probably where you want to go. Yeah. And then as well, where's your game at?
Freedom Dog.
Freedom Dog. With an AW.
All right.
Hey, thanks for coming on. Yeah. I'll swing by and check out the game.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. So there you have it, guys. We're going to continue our coverage here. Thanks for joining us on your TVs there in Texas and Louisiana. We appreciate that on our favorite place there at Smart Money Culture TV. We're reaching a few million people right now, and we are growing that. You ready? Come on in, man. Good to see you. Matt Howerton. I got Matt Howerton here. Let me mic you up.
Sure.
Okay, and he's got some not contraband, but
Got a visual aid.
He's got a visual aid. Okay, can we see that? How do you do it? Well, tell me a little bit first about who you with, what you're doing here, what brought you to CPAC.
Sure. So I'm Matt Howerton. I'm with American Promise. We are a nonprofit, bipartisan organization fighting for a constitutional amendment to get big money under control in politics. As our viewers know, it's been a increasing problem. Every 4 years it gets worse. We set a new record, and that undermines our influence on our own government. So we're fighting for a constitutional amendment. We have widespread support on both sides of the aisle. We can hardly agree on anything lately, but 75% of Americans agree that this is a serious problem.
I think it's a huge problem. So show us. Can we get that maybe?
Yeah, let's see.
How is that? Oh no! Look at that.
What happened in Georgia? Everybody remembers the big U.S. Senate election in Georgia. All eyes were on it. There was an overwhelming amount of lobbyist money that flooded the state to the tune of $450 million. And there was only less than maybe 60 million from in-state. So totally backwards, out-of-state interests deciding our elections. And we think that should be in the hands of the states, where it was originally, as the founders intended.
Okay, hold on a second here. I'm going to try to get this up here. Camera. So where are you guys located?
We are based out of Concord, Massachusetts, but we are a national organization. We have folks in every state. So if you're interested in getting involved, please visit USA Promise on social media or AmericanPromise.net, and you can learn more. And if you'd like to contact me, you can do so at matth@AmericanPromise.net.
All right.
My focus is Texas. I know we have some viewers from Texas. I'm a native Texan, and I've seen firsthand how money has corrupted several elections, and the situation is getting worse by the day. George Soros has, as everyone knows, put millions of dollars into our elections. Mark Zuckerberg donated over $400 million to local governments to get them to open up various voting locations where they wanted. So this would simply empower the states to protect our elections themselves, whereas right now they're kind of handcuffed by the federal government.
So the idea is to block money from out of state.
The idea is to empower every state to do what they believe is best, which is the beautiful federalist system that we have and that we want to protect. So every state would look a little different, and that's okay. That's how we live peacefully.
And the way it is right now, it's controlled. I should have just stopped with that thing.
Yeah, I'll give you one example. You would think foreign nationals would not be able to donate to our elections, which under their own name they can't. But all they have to do is form a business that costs maybe $100, and then we have foreign influence in our elections. So there's loopholes like that the For Our Freedom Amendment would codify to allow them to protect our elections, the integrity of our elections.
And so the For Our Freedom is this is your legislation.
Yeah, this is a constitutional amendment. It's so small it fits on the napkin. And all it says is that the states are the ones that should control campaign contributions.
Okay.
That's the beauty of our republic.
And is this your first time at CPAC?
It's the second time. I was here in 2015.
Okay.
Had a lot of fun. I think Rand Paul won the straw poll that year. But it's great to see everybody and be back in CPAC.
Rand Paul is great. CPAC they always do a great job. Super happy to be here. How do people get involved? Where do they find you guys?
Yeah, so AmericanPromise.net. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at USA Promise. And we'd love your help and your support to restore the American Promise.
Awesome, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
God bless.
God bless. Okay, perfect. Don't forget that. I gave you my card. Okay. All right, come on over here, guys. Who?
Yeah, go ahead. Whoever wants the hot seat.
Who's coming in the hot seat? We got the big guy here. The big guy's coming in. Okay. Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
Pham Lee?
Pham Liam.
All right, Fam Liam, have a seat, sir.
Go now on limb.
All right, I got the big guy here, Fam Liam, and
Yes.
I saw your booth over there.
Yes.
So tell me a little about what brought you here, what you're doing, and
Well,
what's the name of the organization?
The organization is Vietnamese American Conservative Alliance, or the VACA, VACA.
Okay.
And we formed about 3 years ago after President Biden, became president and signed all these executive orders. And overnight, we saw changes that we don't like at all. First of all, the inflation, the price of the price of energy, gasoline, and everything. And second, we saw uh, crimes and illegal immigrations out of control, and crimes in the cities, they're all out of control. And third one, we saw, and the one that we concerned the most is is that those people who trespassed into Congress on January 6th
Yep.
was arrested, prosecuted. Their due process was denied
Yep.
or violated. Their constitutional right was violated, and once they went to trial, the punishment is way more than the crime itself.
Oh, it's like
Yeah, so when you look at the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights, we Americans are entitled to equal protection under the law. And yet, when we saw these leftist anti-fire BLMs go burning things, kill people, and got away with it,
Yeah.
why the January 6 people didn't kill anybody, and they just trespassed into Congress. It's a crime, but it's a misdemeanor, and yet they were prosecuted, and their constitutional rights were violated just because of politics.
Yeah.
So we call that tyranny. And we were taken over by the North Vietnamese communists once, so we lost our freedom, liberty, and we had to risk our lives. Millions of our people had to go out the sea in flimsy boats, and many have died. But those who reached the safety in a free country, we have freedom again, and so we never want to lose our freedom or liberty anymore, never again. So that's what VACA is for. We're here to we for conservative values of family, faith, and freedom,
Yeah.
and we protect all the Americans' constitutional rights, including, of course, the Vietnamese Americans.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing, amazing story. So, what are you doing? What's your focus here? What are you trying to accomplish here at CPAC?
Here at CPAC, we want our voice to be heard by other people who participate in CPAC. We want for them to know that we exist and that we plan to be here and fighting for freedom and justice for the long haul. Currently, the neo-Marxists have using intersectionality and have, through this woke policy of DEI, and it have turned the United States into a discriminatory, incompetent, and unjust country. And we want our country to become, free and just again.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We're wrapping up our coverage here. So you're going to be our last person that we had on the air. How do people find you guys? Do you have a website?
Yes, we do have a website. It's www.freedom-vaca.org.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right. Okay, well there you have it, folks. You got it, brother. We are winding down here on our hour of coverage. You want to join the last few seconds here? We have about 30 seconds before we sign off in Texas and Louisiana. Guys, we really appreciate all the people that have come on and done the interview. Thank you so much, Randy, for really kind of really being the thrust to make it happen. It's important to have the thrust. And thank you, Texas and Louisiana. Thank you, Smart Money Culture TV. And we guys have a great weekend. And we will see you Monday morning on your TVs at 5 a.m. and 11 a.m. Signing off.
Sayonara.